How's it going, everybody? If you're watching this for the first time on a live stream, just know it takes just a couple minutes for people to come on. I'm a little late tonight, so that does not help either. But we'll see here. Let's see. Just pulling up my comments today. How's your Labor Day weekend going? Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend thus far. Looking forward to the day off tomorrow. Just spending some time at home, and I can't wait for that. It's been a long time since I've had one of those days, so very, very much looking forward to it. Trying to get like the entire garden caught up tomorrow. So hopefully we'll have enough good weather. My app on my phone says like rain all day tomorrow, so I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But I did get a good bit done tonight, just not nearly what I'm hoping to get done this weekend, so we'll see. So how are you guys? What are you up to? I was thinking maybe we just have a kind of a fun live stream tonight. If you have some things you want to talk about, some topics you want to bring up, then go ahead and bring them up, and we'll go from there. I'm almost there. I keep forgetting I changed how I watch these things now. There we go. All right, got it. So let's see here. Who's in the house tonight? Caden is first. Says hi, says you the best. Good to have you, Caden. That's awesome. Glad to have you here tonight. Summer's in the house. Summer, I know you didn't have a great day, but glad to have you here at the very least. We missed you at church today, and super fun weekend last weekend, and yeah, just really sorry to hear about your dog. Let's see. Kevin's here third. Can never win first. It's true. It's true. Ice Bear's in the house. Lightning out. Yeah, it did lightning for a little bit, but now we've had fireworks out here at our house. Not a lot of lightning. It just kind of thundered and lightning for a couple minutes, but I worked right through it. The rain came down pretty good for just a minute, and then it was nice. Just really want like 8 to 10 dry hours tomorrow. That'd be great. If I could just get 6, that'd be awesome. I think I could get most of what I want to get done in 6 hours. But I'd love nothing more than to work like 12 hours in the garden tomorrow. So hopefully that'll happen. My back was hurting until I actually worked in the garden. Now my back feels great. Is that weird? I think it was all the driving I did. You probably don't know yet. Well, how would you know? So I was in North Carolina on Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. So I've had about 18 hours of driving in the past 60 hours or so. And then just pretty intensive mental work over the course of 2 days as well. So it's been quite the few days. I'm not tired though. I feel really good. So that's the best part of it, I guess. God has really refreshed me over the past week. It's been wonderful. Randall says, I hope you had a good weekend so far. I really did. You know, I lost Saturday because I was in North Carolina until noon, and then yesterday I drove back. So I didn't start driving back until about 2, and I got home at 11. So it was, it's a long drive. Ice Bear says, lightning outside right now. Where are you at? You're getting lightning right now. Big Dog's in the house. Good to have you, sir. Meatloaf says, hey, so he keeps bringing up girlfriends and follows me a lot. Amber's brother, I mean. How do I tell him to stop nice? Just tell him you're not interested. I don't know. Some guys don't get the hint, though, probably. Let's see. In Ford City, had heat lightning. Heat lightning? It wasn't even hot out. How's that possible? Anyways. Kevin says, just be honest and caring. That's good advice. Summer says, what's happening in North Carolina? So that's a good question. So what we've been doing is the national. Basically, we've been coming up with a model for church planning for small churches, medium churches, and large churches, and we've been kind of brainstorming how to market that model to the whole country. And so we've been brainstorming on how that whole process is going to work. We brainstormed on a website and we made 7 videos over the course of Friday and Saturday. We made 7 videos that will be kind of the initial online church planner training, and then those videos will drive people to us, and then we'll be able to take them kind of along the next steps, and hopefully be able to plant hundreds. Well, really, the plan is over the course of the next 14 years is to plant 1,700 churches is what we're aiming for. And so 1,700 churches all across the United States. And so if we can accomplish even a portion of that through what we're doing, the trips to North Carolina will be absolutely 100% worth it. Even if one gets planted, it'll be worth it. And I know there's going to be many more than that. So it's really exciting what's happening within our denomination and just within the kingdom itself. And we're just going to make a really big push for church planning. So that's what we've been up to. I filmed my video, was the very last one that we filmed. And so I did it on Saturday at about 11 o'clock. And then we added some more brainstorming after that, coming up with next steps and all those kinds of things. So yeah, it's been quite the adventure over the past few months. A few meetings in the evenings and different times, just trying to coordinate everything. Because all the guys that are working on this, well, and guys and girls together, there's some from Georgia, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then me in Pennsylvania. And so I guess one Yankee and a bunch of Confederates down there. But no, it's just a really, really great group of people. Been such a blessing. And honestly, I'm the youngest, most inexperienced person on that board. I feel like I just don't even belong there. But they've been really gracious to me and really, really helpful to me, honestly. These guys some of them have planted, dozens and dozens of churches. Many of them are operating churches much larger than ours. I'm really there to represent what a small church model could look like for a lot of people across the country. Our church is pretty unique in that we don't have any paid staff. Nobody gets paid, and so that's a perspective that I think they're eager to see across the country, because a lot of churches fail because they can't support the pastor, and the pastor has to move on to something else. Well, if the pastor doesn't need any financial support, then that takes care of a whole lot of issues if you can make it work. Obviously, our church is very imperfect because of that, because I don't always have the time to do all the things that a lot of other pastors can do. However, I do the best that I can, and we just go from there. It's probably way more than you wanted to know. Mr. Ladisad, do you know who Joe is? I mean, I know lots of Joes, so you'd have to be a little more specific than that. Meatloaf says, I don't care how he feels. I don't want him boo-hooing. It's annoying. Yeah, it's difficult at your age, honestly, Krista. Braden's in the house. Good to have you, Braden. Kevin says, Michelle is still telling me to leave her alone. Not listening. Epic. Once you're married, they can't really, they have to deal with you to a certain extent. My wife tells me to leave her alone all the time, too, so. Randall says, Andrew, can you play Minecraft with me on a charity live stream? I'd love to. My kids, I was actually teaching them how to play Minecraft today. Do you want to see their house? Maybe I'll show it to you. You just hang on 15 seconds. Be right back. All right, sorry. I was teaching my kids how to play Minecraft today, so let's see if it'll work. My daughter, they've been using it like a lot. They like to just run around, and then my second daughter, Joanna, she just likes to kill everything. So she wants every time she sees a cow or a sheep or a pig, she's like, "Oh, we gotta kill it! Gotta kill it!" So I don't know what's wrong with her, but anyways. I taught them today. They didn't know that Minecraft was a thing where you could actually build stuff, and so I just showed them that. And then Abby started making a house. I helped her a little bit with the roof and then the stairs to get up to the second floor, but for the most part, she did all the walls herself. She put it together. Let's see here. All right, well, that's pulling up. I'll answer some more comments. Swan's in the house. Says, Sunday greetings to all. Good to have you. Jean says, hello, Pastor Andrew. Sorry I missed church. I am feeling sick. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, AJ. Glad to have you here tonight, though. And I'll be praying for you, buddy. Hopefully you're feeling better by tomorrow. Tim Wolf says, hi from the Rocky Mountains. I miss Kennywood. I'm glad to hear it's still there. Ice Bear says they took out the log jammer and added the steel curtain. I didn't know the log jammer was gone. That's kind of sad. Almighty Krat. Come on, man. Big Dog Bro says, you do a good job. Hey, thanks. I feel like a failure most of the time, but I know I'm doing the best that I can. It's just, you gotta take the good with the bad, and I think we've set it up nicely that we have a lot of people. I think of people like you guys and like Kevin and Jim and Sharon, and there's just so many people that are willing to go and care for other people. Luke and Kayla, Kim and Tyler. There's so many. I'm not gonna be able to list them all. Mark and Kristen. Just so many that are willing to go and do things that a pastor should do, or I shouldn't even say that. A pastor shouldn't necessarily do all that stuff, but that church people should do. All right, so this is Abby's house here. Can you see it? Oh, I just moved it. Lost it. Sorry, guys. So it looks like a big barn. I caught 2 llamas there as well. Which was appropriate because my friends were here from Peru today, so that was pretty cool. And Peru is like llama country. All right, here we go. That's a better view. You can see some of the windows there. I thought she did a pretty good job though for her first try. And we'll add to it, so it's pretty cool. Minecraft, Connie, is it's like an open world game where it's like it's almost like playing with Legos on a computer. So you can just build whatever you want to. Well, in the creative mode, that's what we're playing. There's like another mode where there's like monsters and you got to survive and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, my kids are not ready for that. So we play on creative mode, and they can just build whatever you want to. You can go exploring. It's really neat. It's a fun little game. Let's see. What did I miss? Okay, Kevin says, considering the amount of churches already available in each town, besides volunteer staff, what makes the churches to be planted different? And so in our denomination, what we have is it's about 100 years old at this point. It's probably 110 years old or so. And so we're in a situation where a lot of the churches were planted between the 40s and the 70s. And most of those churches are in a mode where they're dying. I shouldn't say most, but probably at least half of the churches are in like a dying mode. And so the vision that was placed before us is that we want to double the denomination by 2033, which is the 2000th anniversary of Jesus' resurrection. And so over the next 14 years, there's this huge push to do something that we've never attempted to do as a denomination. That'd be kind of unprecedented, honestly, for any denomination if we can pull it off. But we just believe that it's a vision of God, and that God's going to work with it, and He has to do it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But how they'll be different, Kevin, I guess to answer your question, is they will be working in a more modern way, kind of like our church does. I think over time, as churches get older, there tends to be kind of a religious spirit that takes over, and then people start to leave, or they're not able to attract new people, and so that's where we're headed, is trying to just bring new blood in, I guess, raise up a next generation of pastors and a new generation of churches to reach a new generation of people. That's it. Let's see. Randall says, I'm starting a survival world. The stream will probably be 2 to 3 hours. We can DM on Instagram. Totally, man. Let me know. I'd be happy to jump on. Can I play? Can we play from, could I play from my iPad on your server? Is that a thing? Or would I need to download it on my laptop and play from there? I mean, I'm happy to do either way. Just let me know. Do you play Clash of Clans? No, I've never played it. I used to always get the ads, though. I remember the ads, but I've never played it once yet. Let's see here. AJ says, I'll be in church on Sunday. Yeah, don't forget about church on Thursday as well. We have Thursday night, we have the first Thursday worship night. So that's going to be great. So hopefully y'all can make it to that as well. Andrew hit the whoa. I don't know what people's obsession is with the whoa. Krista always wants me to hit the whoa as well. I don't even know really how to do it. I saw a couple videos, so it's like, I don't know, something like that, but I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. He's afraid his bones will snap. Kevin says, have you thought about approaching already established churches and having them take on a non-paid role? Absolutely. There's some real hurdles there, Kevin. You have to understand what we're doing at Living Water is very much out of the ordinary. The fact that I'm not even seeking to be a paid staff is, I don't know anyone else doing it. Anyone. I know other pastors that aren't paid full time, but for all of them, their desire is to ultimately be paid full time. That's just never been my goal. I said I'd rather us hire someone else when the time comes, because I don't know. I feel like business is one of my main callings in life. The ability to make money and to generate ideas and to be in the community is part of what makes me who I am, and I just don't think I could operate in any other way. Maybe I could, and maybe God will call me to that someday. But yeah. Let's see here. Almighty Krat, if I could control Rewind, I'd want Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee. So you're going with the Will Smith deal. I see. I get it. Let's see here. Tim says, we had Balloon Fest here this weekend. Was up at sunrise yesterday morning. No clouds, blue skies against Pikes Peak, 14,000 feet. About 80 balloons. Need some balloons above the Allegheny River. We have talked about that, actually. As DKI, we said it would be an incredible venue, honestly, if you could get in this area a hot balloon race like they do out west. The only issue, I mean, there's lots of trees here, obviously, so you'd have to find an open field for them to land. But it'd be an incredible event, and what a beautiful place to fly in the by the Allegheny River. It would be amazing. Summer's been to Pikes Peak. I've been in Denver for just a minute. I just flew in there and flew out, but I've never been to Colorado for an extended period of time. Kevin says, I don't know how to say it without sounding judgmental, but it just doesn't seem right to require money to serve God. There's biblical basis to defend it for sure. Paul never wanted to be paid though, but he always said you know don't stop anyone else from being paid, even though he didn't want to be. So I don't put anyone down that wants to be, but if you're in a position where there's a lot of churches that are they're bringing in $50,000 a year, and then their pastor makes 45, and so what do you do? How can you do any outreach? How can you do anything other than pay the bills? And it's just this struggle. And the pastor wants a 3% raise to cost of living raise, and I totally get that too. You got to feed your family, you got to eat, whatever. But there's a lot of them that are in that situation, and it locks the church up because you can't do anything else. And so we've just never been in that situation. If anything, we've built up a war chest as a church that if God calls us to do something, we're ready to go. Like next year for Summer of Serve, I'm going to request from the board that we buy, potentially another power washer, and then two paint sprayers. We'd spend $1,000 on it, but we don't have any problem doing that because, we just have that mindset and that budgeting that we have that money available. So we give away 20% of our income as a church directly to missions. We give away 10% of our church as a tithe to our denomination, and so 30% right off the bat, and it doesn't bug us a bit. That's what we feel like we're called to do. So that's how we operate. And our building's paid off. Our expenses are extremely low. It's a good situation if you can make it happen. It's very, very sustainable. Because even if we only had a dozen people, we could still operate as Living Water Church, and hopefully we're just going to keep growing. Very excited about the future. Ice Bear says, I go to Crawford's ATA Martial Arts in West Kittanning. Yeah, I wish they were still in town, but got to talk to that guy actually a little while ago, and kind of sad that they're not in town because the situation they were put in just wasn't good. The city of Kittanning is not always the most business-friendly place, unfortunately. Krista's out. Sorry to see you go, Krista. Glad you could make it, though. I know you said your internet probably wasn't good enough, but, it's cool. West Kittanning is better anyway. Come on now. I mean, it's still Kittanning, so I guess it's still the greatest city in the world. You're in the right zip code, but, it is what it is. Kevin says, so is Mark opening a church soon? Well, Mark is going to give it a go, for sure. My understanding, and I don't want to steal his thunder, but my understanding is they're going to meet in his house for a little while until he's going to work on getting his core team going, which will be his three members of the church that are very important. You need your lead pastor, you need a communications director, you need a worship leader, and you need a children's ministry person. So Mark has himself, and then he needs those three other people, and then they'll start building teams around him and be ready to rock. So yeah, we're hoping it'll happen soon. Within the next. Ideally, for me, it'd be within the next 6 months. I think with Mark, I think he's like the sooner the better. So, yeah, we're very excited for him and for Ford City and what that's going to mean there, and just praying that whatever happens there, that it's gonna be a blessing to the city, and you'll see many people come to the Lord and have their lives changed the way that mine's been changed. Let's see, what else today? Oh, yeah, I guess that, Saturday nights. So what happens with Saturday night at Living Water? My hope is that we'll still create a Saturday night service. Kevin, if you wanted to be involved with that, or if anyone else does, we're going to make a pretty heavy push to try to reach the addicted community when it comes to specifically drug addiction and alcoholism, because there's just a huge need to reach that group of people and help them. So we really want to make that happen if we can be a help at all. And I've just I've been talking with you guys a while about. I just feel like there's a shift coming for our city, and I think that's going to be a big part of it. Is trying to reach people that are in the recovery process and people that are struggling with addiction, specifically opioids and all the different issues that you hear about in Kittanning. And so I'm really hoping that that's gonna take off. Connie says, "Does the church own a parsonage?" We do not own a parsonage. Kevin, a parsonage is like a house for a pastor. So there's a lot of churches around that'll have the church, and then they'll have a house next door that the pastor gets to live in for free, and that would be a parsonage. But we do not have one. So now we've talked about trying to buy different properties over the course of the coming years to try to make ourselves a parking lot and be able to do different things. And so yeah, it's not out of the question for the future though, Connie. So if we did have a parsonage, it would make it a whole lot easier to look for a preaching pastor or administrative person or whatever, because then you don't necessarily have to pay them if you were providing a place for them to live, or you wouldn't have to pay them as much, I guess. All right. I think it's about it, guys. I'm getting. I have a lot still to do tonight. I was planning on having a video up yesterday, but I was in North Carolina and I passed out at 7:30 at night, and then I woke up at 1 in the morning, and I was supposed to edit that night, but I didn't get any editing done. Woke up at 1, and I ended up having like 2 hours of work, and then went back to sleep. And so Friday into Saturday, I slept like 10 hours, which is way, way out of the ordinary for me. So, yeah, that was a fun time. But I have some editing to do tonight, so I think I'm going to jump off, try to finish my video, maybe work on my Minecraft house here for Abby. I just hope that you're all doing great, and hope you have a great day tomorrow. Hopefully you all get some rest. And I should have a video up at some point tomorrow, and then I'll have a podcast up on Tuesday, which should be very interesting. I was able to interview a girl who started a really, really cool coffee shop in Altoona. I had a couple people suggest that I go there, and so on my way to North Carolina, I actually stopped and interviewed her, and I did a video in Altoona with her coffee shop. It turned out really good. Really cool drone footage of Altoona too. So check out the video tomorrow of the coffee shop, and then Tuesday will be the full interview with Sarah from Altoona. So very excited about that. Randall, I did get your DM on Instagram. I'll respond to you here in a couple minutes. Other than that, just checking comments. Yep, we're good to go. All right, guys. Talk to you all soon. Love you all very much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and see you real soon.